Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La Rasulihil Kareem.
Hello? You stopped there, right? You stopped there, right? حكم الماء النجس الذي
Yes.
Yeah, حكم الماء النجس أنه نجس لا تحصل به الطهارة. So ماء النجس you cannot use it to gain طهارة. بل إذا اختلط بشيء آخر صار ذلك الشيء أيضا نجسا. But even if this water, this najis water, mixes with another water, that other water also becomes najis and impure. وكذا لا يصح التوضؤ بالماء الذي خرج من شجر أو ثمر. And in the same way, water that comes out from a tree cannot be used. وتوضؤ wudu, no juice. Water that comes out from fruits. سواء خرج ذلك الماء بنفسه من غير عصر أو خرج بعصر الشجر أو الثمر. And it doesn't make a difference whether the water from the tree or the fruit came out itself or they were squeezed, like when a person squeezes fruit for juice. It doesn't make a difference. You cannot use it. وكذا لا تحصل الطهارة بالماء الذي زال طبعه بالطبخ كالمرق والأشرب. This is like a famous sawal, like a joke also, when discussing these types of issues, is that curry, you know curry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the madrasas, they usually ask us, in the madrasa, they don't, you don't have fancy food and luxurious food and delights, I mean, the madrasa, they're just bare minimum. So even the dal is there, it's very light. You'll only see a few pieces of dal, and the color will also be very waterish. Even the color wouldn't have changed much because of the conditions, in some madaris. Although now, the things must have improved. But, so then the ustad used to ask us, can you make wudu with dal? What madrasa dal?
Anybody's
So,
right.
no. So, that's like just like a joke, I mean, the hukam would be there is that how much of the dal has influenced the water. Now here it says zala tab'uhu. One of its qualities of water has gone because of cooking. Now if the dal was not cooked and maybe two or more of the qualities of water are present, then that can be used for wudu. Now it's just by the way, but curry. Right. Now, what's the حكم of حكم الماء الذي اختلط به شيء طاهر? What if something طاهر, clean, pure, mixes with water? إذا اختلط بالماء شيء طاهر كالصابون والدقيق والزعفران ولم يكن هذا الخلط به غالبا فذلك الماء طاهر وتحصل به الطهارة. Now, we got a bucket of water and then what? Soap drops in it. Za'fran, saffron, and thus soap and saffron do not overpower. There is not more of the soap or saffron than the water. Meaning the water is still more than these things, than this tahir thing. Then that water is still clean. So if you've got soapy water, you're probably seen soapy water, right? You've got a bucket and a little bit of soap has been dropped. That water, if you got water and saffron has been dropped. Now the smell of that water might be slightly different. Maybe the little bit of color has changed, but it is still tahir and you can use it to make wudu and make ghusl, meaning for tahara. وإن غلب على الماء بأن أخرجه عن رقته وسيلانه فهو طاهر ولكن لا يصح الوضوء. Now, but if these things like soap or saffron overpowers, meaning it is more than, meaning it has such a presence that it changes the riqat, the quality of flowing of water, the quality of the flow of water, then the water is still tahir. Why the differences between tahir but not غير مطهر is that tahir, if it attaches to your clothing or your or your mat, or your prayer mat, or your musalla, then you can still make namaz on that, and you can still use that clothing for salah, but you cannot make wudu with that. So now the quality of water. Now a person might say, okay, what's the flow of water? Now you see, if you have gravy, right? If you have salan, if you have curry, and then if you let it flow, and if you let water flow, water will reach faster, right, to the end point, but not curry, because curry has become a little thick. Understanding, like soup. So water has its own flow, right? It's smooth flowness, which maybe oil doesn't have. If you get what I'm saying? Like if there's water on your clothing, it seeps through, right? Oil would not do that. So that's what it means by riqati wa sailani. So riqati,
The consistency of it. So the thickness.
yeah, the thickness and the thinness. Riqati literally means thinness of it, the slenderness.
They call it viscosity. If less
Viscosity. Yeah, viscosity. You got a technical term there. Viscosity. So that part of, if it changes, then it is tahir but not mutahir. Meaning you cannot make wudu with it. إذا تغير لون الماء وطعمه ورائحته لطول المكث فهو طاهر وتحصل بالطهارة. Another important question: if the color of the water or the taste or the smell changes, why? Why does it change? The why is important over here. It's because it was stagnant. It was just laying there for quite some time. Then it is tahir, and you can still make wudu with it, and it is mutahir also. Just remember that, because you might get confused with the coming مسائل. إذا اختلط بالماء شيء لا ينفك عنه في غالب الأحيان كالتحلب وورق الشجر والفاكهة فذلك الماء طاهر وتحصل بالطهارة. But if something mixes with water which cannot be removed from it في غالب الأحيان, in most of the times, like كالتحلب is translated like moss, like moss, water moss, or leaves of a tree, or fruit. Now this in في غالب الأحيان, in most of the times, not like someone places fruits in water to get out juice. That's not it. But if you got some type of a pond where most of the time the fruits fall in it, then that will be fine. Or there's water moss, then that will also be fine. Then this thing cannot be separated from the water, right? It becomes like the water. Even leaves. So you'll see, because of these, they will have an effect on the water, but it will still be tahir, and it will be mutahir. إذا اختلط بالماء شيء مائع, now something flowy, liquidish, falls or mixes with water, له وصفان, but it has two qualities. كاللبن, like, for example, milk. فإن في اللبن لونا وطعما ولا رائحة فيه, because milk has a color and it has a taste, but doesn't have a smell. You see, he's talking about flowy things or liquidish things which have two qualities. Wasfani. Yeah. So it has two qualities. Now what's the hukum for that? فإن ظهر على الماء وصف واحد حكم بأن الماء مغلوب ولا يجوز الوضوء به. Now because it has two qualities, if one of the qualities is apparent, meaning the whole color of the water has changed, then it will be considered that it is maghlub. Now the water has been overpowered, it's not considered water anymore, and then the wudu will not be jaiz with it, although it will still be tahir. Or even if the taste, now there's more milkish taste than water, then too that will be the hukum. It is overpowered, it's no more considered water. إذا اختلط بالماء شيء ماء له ثلاثة أوصاف كالخل فإن ظهر على الماء وصفان من أوصاف الثلاثة صار الماء مغلوبا ولا يجوز الوضوء به. Now if with water there is a liquidish or a flowish, something with a flow mixes with it, like vinegar, and it has three qualities. We spoke about wasfani, two qualities, and there also you can make reference to our dars of Mutanna, wasfun, wasfani, awsafun. You see how it all plays a role. So vinegar. Now in this, if it mixes with water, if two of the qualities of vinegar become apparent, then that water will be considered maghlub, meaning overpowered, meaning it is no more considered water, and then wudu will not be jais with that. For example, the taste and the color changed, or maybe the taste and the smell changed. ولو اختلط بالماء شيء ماء لا وصف له كالماء المستعمل وماء الورد الذي انقطعت رائحته وتعتبر الغلبة فيه بالوزن فإن اختلط رطلان من الماء المستعمل برطل من الماء الخالص لا يجوز الوضوء به. Now the question arises is that what if something flowy mixes with water but it does not have any quality? We spoke about two qualities, we spoke about three qualities. Now something flowing or liquidish mixes without any qualities. This liquid has no qualities. Now, you might ask, what might that be? So that is ma'ul mustamal or rose water, which the smell of it has gone, meaning there's no smell in it. Then you will figure out which is more by weighing it, بالوزن. By weighing it. Is the water more, is the ma'ul musta'mal more, or the, no, not by weighing it, by weight. You're gonna, how are you gonna weigh it, and then, unless you've got some technical machine for that, and probably there is, I don't know. But, how you're gonna see is that if there's a bucket of water, and two buckets of water were mixed in this big bucket with one bucket of clean water, therefore, that will not be considered clean water and you cannot make wudu with it. So if you've got two buckets of ma'ul mustamal and if you've got one bucket of clean water and they got mixed in a big bucket, therefore the wudu will not be jais with it because now ma'ul mustamal is more. You're getting what I'm saying? Now on the opposite side, if only one bucket was mixed with one bucket of ma'ul mustamal was mixed with two buckets of clean water, then all three, meaning that whole mixture, can be used for wudu. You see, that's what meaning تعتبر الغلبة فيه بالوزن. The weight will be considered. How much was it? Any questions? People, questions?
No, والله it's fine. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. أحكام السور. Sur means leftover, remnant. Leftover or remnants. Sur means left over. السور هو الماء الذي بقي فيه الإناء بعد ما شرب منه إنسان أو حيوان. What is sur? Sur is that water which has been left over after a person has drank from it, whether it be a human being or a حيوان, animal. وللسور أحكام تختلف باختلاف الحيوان الذي شرب منه, and this leftover has different laws with regards to which being has drank from it. So number one, فالسور العدمي طاهر وتحصل به الطهارة إذا لم يكن في فمه أثر النجاسة سواء كان مسلما أو كافرا وسواء كان طاهرا أو كان جنوبا. A human being's leftover is طاهر, and طاهر meaning you can make wudu with it also after he has drank from the bucket, for example, if he didn't have any najasat in his mouth. If this, whether it be a kafir, Muslim, طاهر, or junubi meaning impure, hukmiyan meaning he had intercourse and he went to go drink from the bucket of water, then that bucket of water is tahir. But if the kafir, he ate pork and then he drank, or he ate carrion and then he drank, or he drank wine and then he drank, then the hukam changes, then it is not tahir. Understanding?
Gee.
So whether it be a kafir, Muslim, male, female, tahir or junubi. Junubi hukmiyan, not physically. Because if he has physical najasat in his mouth, then the hukum changes. So hukmi, when I mentioned, is that maybe if the person has a
ritual impurity.
Was it?
Ritual impurity.
Ritual impurity. Okay. Yeah. So then that would be different. وكذا سؤر الفرس طاهر وتحصل به الطهارة بدون كراهة. The same rule applies for the horse. بدون كراهة. Without any, just like it is just in the hukum of the human being. وكذا سؤر الحيوان الذي يؤكل لحمه طاهر وتحصل بالطهارة بدون كراهة كالإبل والبقر والغنم. Like in the same way, those animals which we eat, like camel meat, baqar, cows, bulls, ghanam, sheep, goats are also included into this. Right? Chickens. These animals we eat, we consume. So they will also fall under category number one. If no najasat in the mouth, then it is tahir mutahhir. Leftover of hirra, cat. سور الهرة طاهر ولكن يكره الوضوء به تنزيها إذا وجد الماء المطلق إن لم يكن في فمه أثر النجاسة. Now, سور الهرة has some karahiyat, a little bit of dislike in using it if there is ma'ul mutlaq. If there is no ma'ul mutlaq, then the karahiyat is not there also, the dislike is not there. Thus again, they bring it athar al-najasati in the mouth, because once there's athar al-najasat, so even the admi, even the human beings left over is impure. Because the najasat has been touching the water. Understand? So a cat comes and drinks from the bucket. So, and a person, he comes in this time of the water is near, there's only this bucket and he knows that the cat drank from it. He can use it. There's no ma'ul mutlaq. But if there is ma'ul mutlaq and he still uses it, his namaz will be jais, but tanzihan. Fahimtum?
Can you explain the definition of tanzihan?
Tanzihan, okay. Yeah, makruh tanzihi and makruh tahrimi. There's two types of makruh, tanzihi and tahrimi. Tanzihi is a light makruh, so to put it. And tahrimi is a grave or great makruh. Makruh means, if you literally translate, means something which is disliked. It's not haram, but it is disliked. Now the difference in the tahrimi and tanzihi is that tahrimi, if you keep on doing it, you get sin. Right? Tanzihi, it's disliked, but it's not like tahrimi. Meaning you will not get sin by doing it. Obviously, if you do it with the intention of, I'm going to do it because it's only makruh tanzihi, then you will get sin, because obviously, innamal a'malu binniyat. But if you did it like 1-2 times and it happened and there was, so then there's not much, it's not like a big sin, but although it is like, it's like, if you built a house and you did every single thing, but you didn't paint it. So that's like, this house is so beautiful, it's just the paint, it's tanzihi. But now you build this house and say you've only got the main door and you don't have doors in the room. Although it will be called the house, but the doors are important. That's tahrim. And the person comes over and over to your house and he says, hey, but you still don't have doors. And then he might think that, something's wrong. That's like tahrim. Although you can still live in that house. Now, and haram would be, there's no roof in the house. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, Jazakallah khair. They call it tahzibi as well. Makruh tahzibi.
تهذيبي. What that? Afsab?
Yes. Makruh
What?
tahzibi.
تهذيبي.
Yeah. Maulana Ashraf Rithami rahmatullah, he used this word a lot in his book, tahzibi. Makruh tahzibi.
Okay, I'm not sure about it. I'll check it out. I will check it out. مكروه تهذيبي. Okay. وكذا صغر السباع الطير كالصقر والحذاءة طاهر ولكن يكره الوضوء به. Now, predatory birds, they leftover is tahir, but makruh to make wudu with it. Saqr is like a falcon, and hida'ati is like a kite, K-I-T-E. It's like a smaller than an eagle. Also hunts. And it's a predatory bird. I haven't seen it, but that is. So Siba, falcon, eagle, vultures, all those will fall under that. وكذا سوء الحيوان الذي يسكن في البيوت كالفأرة طاهر ولكن يكره الوضوء به. And in the same way, the leftover of those animals that stay in the house, like a mouse. Again, it is tired, but makruh to make wudu with it. سور البغل والحمار طاهر بدون شك. The leftover of a mule and a donkey is tahir without any doubt. But can you make wudu with it? There's shak and there's doubt in that. And that is same as how we discussed the non-mustamil obey. The same where we said that there's shak, then not the non-mustamil, the water. Then if you do not find anything else, then tawadda abhi wa tayammama thumma salla. That's similar to that. But it is tahir, meaning if the bucket falls on your clothing, you can still make wudu, salah with it. Sur al-khinziri, number 4. Sur al-khinzir, a leftover of a pig is najis. لا تحصل بالطهارة, you cannot even use it for making wudu. وكذا سور الكلب, also the dog, نجس لا تحصل بالطهارة. وكذا سور السباع, سبع من السباع البهائم. Those predatory animals, not birds, predatory animals like a lion, a cheetah, or panther, a wolf, is impure, najis, and you cannot even make wuzu with it. Or غسل. الحيوان الذي سوره طاهر عرقه طاهر والحيوان الذي سوره نجس عرقه نجس. Now we come to sweat or perspiration. Those animals whose leftover is tahir, perspiration is also tahir. You riding your horse, you sweating, and the horse is also sweating. You get off, you don't need to take a shower. If you have wudu, you don't need to make wudu again. You don't have to clean yourself if the perspiration touched your clothing or your body. You can make wudu. Understanding? Same goes for ibil and bakar and ghanam and shat, all these animals. Camels, cows, sheep, lamb, goats. But that animal whose leftover is najis, the arqam is najis also, like a dog. People have to be very careful with regards to dogs. People have them as pets, but did you know that saliva also is najis? Now people play with them and stuff, and then they want to perform salah. So that's not on, it's not right. Now, okay, before we go, any questions?
Is the sweat from a dog?
Yeah, it's najis.
Right.
It is red because its leftover is also najis.
Okay.
So you do need to have shower or just wuzu?
You need to not wuzu. Wherever the spit or the saliva has touched your body, you have to clean that body, that part.
Yeah.
Then if you don't have wuzu, obviously, then you have to make wuzu. But you have to remove that part because now if you had wudu and this part and this has attached itself, meaning this you are playing and the saliva got caught in your clothing, then you have to change. I know an uncle who has a dog. He has a different set of clothing for when he plays with his dog and different set of clothing when he goes inside his house and plays. Because you cannot use that clothing because obviously it's difficult to now save yourself if you're going to play with the dog from its saliva.
When you're, for example, when you're walking down the street, for example, and sometimes a dog rubs past you, you can feel its body rubbing past your leg, and it's been running, maybe it's been sweating. So in that scenario, do you have to get changed, have a shower, and get changed?
No. You see, اليقين لا يزال بالشك. That you only have doubt. This is an usul. You only have doubt that that it just if it's just going past. Now, if you're meeting a friend and that friend's dog is going all the way and you see it sucking you and licking you, then for sure. But now if you're walking past the street and this dog is just running by casually and maybe its body touched, obviously you'll try to save yourself. But now if its body touched you, then it's not an issue. This is not so difficult. And all the Fatawa has discussed this masala with regards to in India and countries like that is when it rains, then there's a lot of teacher and there's a lot of dirt. There's usually there's dirt on the road in the gullies and valleys of India. So when a person is going for salah, if it rains, then what happens is when this rain drops and stuff mixes with the dirt and then it goes onto the person's body. Then what happens then? So there also it is ma'fu. Unless obviously there's so much and for sure there's a lot of impurity has come on you, then obviously you need to remove it and you need to clean yourself. Is that clear?
Yes, jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
أحكام المياه.
Is there any ruling on how you clean your clothes? Do you have to wash it like 3 times?
I never get the question. It was cutting.
Sorry, if a dog touched your clothes or licked it or whatnot, and is there a ruling how you wash the clothes?
Yeah. Normal wash. I know there's a hadith that you must wash it 7 times and then the 8th time has to be with sand, but that was in the starting. Normally, if you would wash it just to remove the najasa, say if you got some type of like if you're washing clothing, it's not going to be a light wash. Remember, it's not going to be a light wash. Like you're washing your dirty clothing, you wash this. Obviously, but if you've got clothing, okay, what's different is if you've got other clothing which maybe there's no najasat like no liquor or saliva of a dog, then that would be just like a normal wash, right? In a washing machine also. This has to be washed separately first, just to remove that. It has to be like maybe 3 times if you just put it under water and then squeeze the water out another time and then another time. So 3 times done, then you can put it in the washing machine also. Even just the part, maybe if by the knee the dog licked, if you clean that maybe 3 times with water, then it's back. Fire. Okay. The laws, أحكام المياه الآباري, the laws of the water of the wells. Now, the person might say is that there's no more wells around, or well, at least not many around where we stay and maybe probably where you stay. I don't know. But somewhere along the line, maybe someone comes across a well. فإذا وقعت في البئر نجاسة ولو كانت قليلة كقطرة دم أو قطرة خمر وجب إخراج الماء للبئر من الماء. This is important. See, if a drop, if najasat falls into a well, even though it may be very little, like a drop of blood or liquor, then it is wajib, it is lazim, it is necessary. You have to take out the water from the well. Now we're going to discuss how much. إذا وقع في البئر حيوان نجس العين كالخنزير وجب إخراج ما في البئر من الماء سواء مات الخنزير في البئر أو خرج حيا وسواء وصل فمه إلى الماء أم لم يصل. Now if something نجس العين like خنزير, a pig falls into the water, even though it comes out alive or dies, then you have to take out the water from the well. And it doesn't make a difference if its mouth touch the water or not, because it's najis ulayn. Every part of the pig is najis, dirty, impure. إذا وقع في البئر حيوان ليس بنجس العين ولكن سؤره نجس وجب إخراجه مع البئر. We just discussed the leftover of those animals which is not appropriate for usage. Now if they fall in, also the water has to be taken out. إذا وقع في البئر إنسان وخرج من البئر حي ولم تكن على بدنه نجاسة لم يكن الماء نجسا. Now if a insan, boy, girl, man, woman falls into the well and comes out alive, then and there was no najasat on his body, then the water will not be najis. كذا إذا وقع في البئر بغل أو حمار أو صقر أو حداة خرج حيا لم تكن على بدنه نجاسة لم يكن الماء نجسا إذا لم يصل فمه إلى الماء. The same will apply with a mule, donkey. Saqar was a falcon, wahidatun. Now these are predatory birds, but still, if they come out alive and there was no najasat, then the water will not be najis. وإذا وصل اللعاب الواقع في الماء فهو في حكم السهولية. Now if something from the above which we discussed, if they fall and the saliva touches the water, then it will be in the hukum of the sur. So we'll just see what is the hukum of the sur, and that will be the hukum of the well. Meaning if the sur was najis, this will be najis. If the sur was tahir mutahir, this will be tahir mutahir. If the sur was tahir walakin laysa bi mutahirin, then the same will apply with the water of the beer, water of the well. Abar means wells, plural of beer. إذا مات في الحيوان ليس فيه دم سائل كالبط والذباب والزنبور والأقرب لا يكون الماء نجسا. Now if in the water an animal dies which does not have flowing blood, دم سائل, كالبط like a bedbug or a fly or a hornet or a scorpion, then the water would not be najis. These things go inside and die, then the water would not be najis. وكذا إذا مات في البر حيوان يولد ويعيش في الماء كالسمك والضفدع والسرطان لا ينجس الماء. In the same way, the water will not be najis and impure if a fish, hog, or a crayfish dies. Meaning those animals which live in water, in the sea, like fish. Understanding? إن مات في البئر حيوان كبير مثل كلب أو شاة أو مات فيها إنسان وأخرج فورا قبل الانتفاخ صار الماء نجسا ووجب إخراج ما في البئر من الماء. Now, if a big animal dies, like a dog or a sheep or an insan, a human being, but it was taken out immediately, there wasn't a delay in taking out this animal or this insan or this human being before it swelled up or puffed up, then that ma would be najis. And it will be lazim, it will be necessary to take out the water of the well. يكفي إخراج 200 دلو وسط في جميع هذه المسائل التي يجب فيها إخراج جميع ما في البئر من الماء إن لم يكن إخراج جميع الماء. إن لم يمكن إخراج جميع الماء. Now, if it is not possible to take out all the water, sometimes it's not possible because the well fills up quickly, you know. I'm not an expert in wells, but that's what I would assume, you know. The well, because people usually take out water and they take out water for the needs and stuff, so then there's new water coming up all the time. Now, if it is impossible or it's difficult to take out all the water, then in all the masail that we discuss now, whether we have to take out the water from the well, what will suffice is 200 medium-sized buckets. Is that understood? 200 medium-sized buckets. يكفي إخراج 40 دلوا إذا مات في البئر حيوان مثل هرة أو دجاجة. Now, this was, the top one was where, big animals, or نجس العين animals, or an insan. The bottom one is, if 40 buckets would suffice if a animal the size of a cat or a chicken fell and died. 40 buckets. And يكفي إخراج 20 دلوا إذا مات في البئر حيوان مثل عصفور أو فارض. And 20 buckets would suffice if an animal the size of a bird or a rat falls and dies. إذا أخرج مقدار الواجب الماء صارت البئر طاهرة. If the wajib miqdar, the necessary amount has been taken out, then the well would be said to be طاهر, meaning it will be clean and pure. كذا طهور الرشاء والدلو ويد الشخص الذي قام بإخراج الماء. In the same way, with this act of cleansing the well, the rope which is used and for the bucket itself, and the man or the person who's taking out these buckets, his hand will also be considered طاهر, meaning clean and pure. لا تكون البئر نجسة إذا وقت فيها الروث والبعر والخفي إلا أن تكون كثيرة بحيث لا تخلو دلو عن بعرة فتصير البئر نجسة. But now if there is droppings of, say, dung, droppings of camels, droppings of cows, these are all different names. This is just the beauty of Arabic. Look at the different names just for droppings. Imagine droppings of roth, like roth is dung, and bar is 4 droppings of camels, and khasi is droppings of cows. Imagine, roth sometimes is used for as a general term, dung. إلا أن تكون كثيرة. So if a little of it falls into the well, it still will not become najis. But if it is so much that whole buckets come out with this dung and this droppings, then the well would be najis. It would be impure, and then you'd have to take out the water of it. كذا يكون ماء البئر نجسا إذا وقع فيها خرء حمام أو خرء عصفور. Now again, this is the beauty of Arabic. We just say number 2, or feces, right? In Arabic, for different animals, there's different animals' dung and droppings, and the waste has different names. Imagine that. Isn't that beautiful? It's the beauty of Arabic. Now, the water of the well will also not be najis if there is excrements or feces of pigeons and small birds. إذا مات في البئر حيوان وانتفخ فيها ولا يدرى متى وقع الحيوان فيها حكم بنجاسة البئر من 3 أيام من ولياليها فتقضى صلوات هذه الأيام إن توضئ بمائها. Now the hukam comes here is that if in the well a animal died, and it, we spoke about puffing up and blowing up. It didn't blow up. Here it blows up, meaning it puffs up because of water or whatever, it swells up. And we do not know when this animal fell in, right? Then we're going to say that this well water was impure since 3 days and nights. And why would someone say that? Is because in 3 days and nights the villagers use this water to clean their clothing. They use this water to make wudu. So therefore the salah was not accepted in these 3 days. They have to repeat those salah. Right, clear? ويغسل البدن والثياب إن استعمل ماءها في هذه المدة في الاغتسال أو في غسل الثياب. Now again, the bodies, the clothing will have to be rewashed if this water was used in this period to wash bodies or to wash clothing. So all that clothing or whatever has to be rewashed, because this water was impure and it was dirty. right? This was when it never, it swelled up, and we do not know when this حيوان, animal, died inside. إذا وجد في البئر حيوان ميت قبل انتفاخه ولا يدرى متى وقع فيها حكم بنجاسة البئر من يوم وليلة فقط فتقضى ثروات يوم وليلة. Now, if you find in a well a dead animal and it didn't swell up, it didn't puff up, then, and we don't know when it was there, then it would be, we're going to pass the law that this well's water was najis and it was impure for a day and a night. So 1 day, 1 night. فهمتم؟ Any questions?
No, just okay.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, can I ask one thing regarding the sweating with the cats and the horse? So you just need to do wuzu. Or you have to clean
Sweating
the
of
najis.
cats and horses is fine. It's fine. They are tahir animals. It's fine. Sweating, cats are it's fine. Cats, even they leftover drink is fine if they haven't eaten something najis.
Jazakallah khair.
Another question regarding cats. In some houses, you find cats, they molt a lot. There's fur everywhere. You sit on a chair and you find, you have fur sticking to your clothes. Was Salah okay in that condition?
Yeah. Cats have been referred to as tawafun alaykum wa tawafat. How can I call it? Is these animals that come and go. So cats are clean. The cats are clean creatures. One Sahabi used to keep a cat in his sleeve. Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, that's why he got his nickname, his pet name, so to say. So cats, fine. Cats are fine. Dogs are. You just have to be wary of the dogs. You just have to teach the other nation, or the woke nation, the so-called woke nation, to rather keep cats as pets than dogs.
Oh, it's a very different scenario here. Dogs, they've sort of replaced the kids. They get more attention.
No, I understand what you're saying. Here also we see it a trend, they'll be traveling in the cars and, they'll be on the bodies and everywhere.
Yeah, I had one lick my hand once, and he absolutely stank.
Yeah, hey. No, I can imagine, UK and stuff must be like, it must be like open there. There not so much, but I understand maybe UK, Canada and stuff. But that's our imtihan, Imagine a person goes out and probably you might have come across this, makes wuzu, goes out for salah and he's got all these dogs walking up and down and he knows for sure they're licking while they're going. Now he has to go back and change his clothing, wash himself again and then go back. Added musibat. Added trouble.
They spend more on their dogs than they do on their children, so.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, when a person doesn't have Islam, then his whole thinking is warped. His mind is warped.
Absolutely.
He doesn't think. He thinks black is white and white is black, day is night and night is day, and good is bad and bad is good, clean is dirty and dirty is clean. That's what happens. You cannot tell the difference between right and wrong. And if you cannot tell the difference between right and wrong, then you might just well follow wrong because you think that's right. Allah save us, there's nur in Islam and there's nur in Hidayat and there's nur in the Quran and the Sunnah and in the teachings of Islam. Allah keep us on it, inshallah. What's that?
Yeah, even Muslims do it.
Yeah, I had a colleague, we were working in this Islamic finance consultancy, and I had a colleague, he's got a pet dog now. So he keeps on, he says, I know the ruling and stuff, but I really like the dog and, the dog likes him. I told you, he's got separate clothing just to stuff. And then he'll start, in his talk also and stuff, he'll start reasoning with me and start saying but why would they be considered like, najis and stuff? And I'm like thinking, just because you like it, just because you desire it, now you cannot change the ruling.